Okay, this week is number 6 in our 7 passions, dark passions, shadows, and 7 graces. And we will go through tonight's and then I'll open it up. We can talk a little bit if you want. Tonight's, I know you're all super excited. What's it going to be this week? Tonight's passion, shadow is envy, but not your, normal run of the mill envy, but more to have an envious mind, and an envious creative center, and an envious reasoning center. So just to clarify envy and jealousy, envy definition is a feeling of discontent or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, and luck. The desire to have possessions, qualities, or other desirable attributes belonging to someone else, or wishing that they lacked whatever those qualities are. So, and jealousy definition is the thoughts and feelings of insecurity, fear, and envy over a relative lack of possessions, status, or something of personal value. So, this is not talking about inspiration. Okay, I just want to clear that up. So, it's not seeing somebody success or seeing somebody's performance and being inspired by it and desiring something for yourself along those lines. It's not about inspired um, revelation about, oh, there's more, I could do more, be more. Um, I too want to run a marathon, like something like that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about envy. Envy and jealousy both have the dark emotions, the discontent, the resentful longing, the desire to have what somebody else has in a dark way, like thoughts and feelings of insecurity, fear, and envy over somebody else's life, basically, somebody else's life. Because we qualify success and failure is really a perspective or a group collective, like, in order to be successful, you have to do these steps and have these possessions. That is really the reality that we created. It is not our divine reality. That is something that we have created in this culture and across the globe. So, an envious mind is against all virtues and goodness. Um, it hates the excellence it cannot reach, the beauty, wealth, and moral um, values that it cannot reach. So it is really opposite of the grace, any good attribute. So jealousy and envy at this level will make you do things you never thought you would do, right? And you hear stories of people that fill up their ex-husband's car with cement and all kinds of stuff like that. um, Envy in its worst expression will ruin your life because it possesses your every thought. It possesses your creative center, and you're creating from a place of envy, darkness, um, and it possesses your reasoning center. So you've lost your sense of reason, and your reasoning and manipulating your thoughts to justify and be in line with what you are doing or thinking, right? So, um, envy and jealousy come from thoughts that there's something wrong with my life. My life, your life is better than mine. My life isn't good enough. Um, Envy will cause you to misuse your power. And our power comes through in our energy, our words, and our actions, right? So We can envy the power of others. Envy causes us to lie, to be deceitful, to misuse our reason, our intelligence. And envy causes us to misuse our knowledge, to twist the knowledge to suit what we're doing. And it's not just towards ourselves, but it causes harms to others, because envy and jealousy, out of that come dark strategies and dark actions against others. So, for example, a way that we misuse our power and our words is we can say, when somebody gets a great promotion that we work with, we say, who did she sleep with to get that promotion? Right? It can't be just because you feel you should have it, right? They don't deserve that, and our envious creation center is we're creating out of inferiority, right? An inferiority complex. And we can even let's say, take the marathon example. Someone runs a marathon, and it was a great accomplishment, and they're getting great emotional reward and stuff. You can be jealous and want that, even if you never ran a step in your life and never ever intended to. A person can be jealous of that because they want the outcome that the other person has. It's still jealousy, right? So it's learning the subtle angles of where these things come from. Scheming to get someone back into your life, a friend or a lover, just so you can dump them. That's a dark scheme. It's a dark scheme. An envious reasoning center would say they, whoever they are, should not have more than me. And they should not have all that success and money. And this has always cracked me up, because people complain all the time about people who have more money than them, and people who have really a lot of more money than them, right? And they're like, they should give that money, they should give half that money away. That's too much for them to have. And I say, you're rich to somebody. There's people who think you are rich. And are you going to give them half? Oh, no, 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 no. I don't have enough for that. Like, I'm used to my lifestyle, but those other people over there shouldn't have the reward. Why not? Why not? Right? And people say, everyone should get exactly the same. Why? Why? That's jealousy. That's a form of jealousy. Why? we're all different, and people invent stuff, and we all think it's great, and we buy it. They should be rewarded. They should be rewarded. It should not be dispersed equally. And if they did that, pretty soon there's going to be the have more and have less, because that's just human nature. So, and the truth of the whole matter is, with this is, we have all been given the same power. We have been all given the same power equally, spiritually, to create the life that we desire, that will bring us joy, and that will allow us to fulfill our highest potential. And we every single one of us has equal opportunity for that, equal opportunity. So it's the ego dark side that falls into looking, comparing, judging against other people, feeling insecure and inferior, and wanting to put darkness out there towards the other person or people in order to feel better about themselves instead of doing something about themselves. So envy, jealousy, there's the obvious, that we've all heard the stories of things like that, but there's the subtle side of it too. So whenever we're feeling that, your life is better than mine, there's something wrong with my life, Um, and that's much different than I want more out of my life. Uh, how do I get it? That's different because it doesn't carry with it heaviness. It doesn't carry with us insecurity and fear, and it doesn't carry those emotions. That's like a natural growing process. I want to achieve more. I want to elevate myself. That's different. That's not envy. Um, you have something I don't have, and I feel less than because of it, and because I would like to have it, or I don't feel that you should have it. That's envy and jealousy and the dark side. So that is the sixth passion, and it's again looking at our thoughts and emotions, and finding those patterns and ways of being that are not serving us or others. This whole process has been about clearing up our energy, right? Clearing up our energy. Perceived inferiority and jealousy and envy will create malicious thoughts and deeds, small or big. So moving into the grace, the balancing side of this process is it is knowledge. So it's not knowledge as in information or gathering data or reading a lot of books and knowing a lot of stuff. It's not that kind of knowledge. It's sacred knowledge. It is interior knowledge of the secret mysteries of God as they are revealed to us. So again, this grace can't be activated, but as we make ourselves available, as we go into our soul, and as we spend time with our getting to know ourselves, we spend time steeping in the sanctuary, and this is something that comes through growing, and it's not activated by our wanting to have it. It comes as is, like all the graces. It comes when we need it, when we call on it, uh, and it will begin to speak to us as we move some of these things out of the way, and we become more tuned into and more aware of our inner voice and the voice of spirit. Then we begin to have more room for interior knowledge of the secret mysteries of God, the sacred knowledge that we get as we evolve and grow. And it begins to speak to us, this is the path for your highest potential. There's two examples they give in the book, and I feel like they're really good. And so there's a gardener, and he's a really exceptional gardener, and he knows when to plant the seeds. He knows how to prepare the soil. He knows everything about it. It's organic. The fruit is gorgeous. He knows how to make really super healthy fruit, and he knows everything about the soil, the water, the nutrition, the seeds, the plants, and the fruits. He's an excellent gardener. And then there's gardener number two, who has all of the same knowledge, but he also has a knowing. He has secret knowledge he has access to the secret knowledge that dwells within the soul of the plant about the healing properties of the plant and how to use that and what to extract. That's an example of someone who has interior knowledge. Now, you could say, well, I've read books on the healing property of plants, and I know about essential oils and this and that. Um, so it's not talking about having the knowledge. It's talking about being ushered into the secret knowledge. The secret knowledge. We think we know stuff, and we try to apply it based on what we think we know, but sometimes we don't know what's needed, and we can misdiagnose what's needed and misinterpret, right? But um, secret knowledge, or gnosis is what it's called, is a secret knowing. It's a knowing within you. If you take this part of the plant, it will heal this part of your body. It's a knowing that is revealed in that moment to us. And just to touch just a little, it's not off base, it's on base, but it's a beautiful thing. I want you to get the fact that every living creature, plant, or anything has a soul, has a life, a force, has a sanctuary. And don't think for a minute plants don't speak to each other and don't have their own language and all of that. They are living. You might not hear their heartbeat or see them bleed, but they are alive and living divine beings, and they are cohabitating with us. So keep that in mind. All you vegetarians are going to be so hungry now. But the plants are, and now that they're able to measure the energy and plants have conversations, plants recognize people. We grew up with this knowledge in our house. We were taught this, you can speak to the plant and to the flower and keep it alive without water. Like the living green creatures respond to love, life, energy the same as animals do, and the same as people do. So just touching on that. So as we're so just to clarify, gnosis, or the sacred knowledge, is knowledge of the mystery of life, the highest kind of knowledge, to see or perceive, to have a mental perception from an uncertain origin. So basically an inspired knowing, an inspired knowing. We all have a level of gnosis activated within us right now. So, at its basic level, it's our survival, instinct. And it says, like, when we're sick, it'll say rest, go to bed, drink water, walk, breathe, sleep, or even cry. Like, it is built in, it's innate within us, but we only know it on the base level, So in our practice, and so you're like, oh, how do I apply this? So while we are in our practice and in our sanctuary, we could say, give me knowledge about myself, show me where I am not seeing myself clearly, give me the grace of knowledge about me so that I can move through and away from jealousy or envy. Show me where it sits in my life, especially if you think you're pure from it. Show me where it sits in my life. Is it in my life in a subtle form? Because all of these belong to every human in some form or another, if not now, later. So we're learning so that we can be more in the grace and not blindsided by a shadow. And when we know who we are and we're living in the reverence of life and we are active in the graces, and then we begin to be open to our potentials, and we begin to be open to our own attributes, and then our path comes clearly into view, and the tasks that we're here to do in this lifetime. become more clear to us. And then we have a knowing that we don't know how we know, but we have a knowing about our life and the direction we need to go. That's gnosis. That's the grace of knowledge. It comes from uh, the universe, it comes from um, the divine heart of God. It comes from there. Um, if it will mix together with or pull from the knowledge that we have gained, right? From the knowledge that we've gained. So um, as we're learning and getting knowledge, that's great. Um, we need inspiration. We need it to be infused with and from spirit in order for it to have all the power that it could actually have on the earth, for the earth and ourselves and other humans. So that is the shadow and the grace today. Shadow of an envious mind and the grace of knowledge. If you have any questions or comments, or even about the previous weeks. Just so everyone knows, people love it when you share.
That is a lot to take in. I never thought about envy and like that. I just thought it was like a simple, kind of annoying emotion that happens sometimes. So
Yeah.
that was explained very well.
Yeah, that's why they're called shadows.
Yes.
Sneak
They
lurk
around.
around.
I always thought that envy and jealousy were the same thing. And then I realized envy is I want what you have, and jealousy is I want what you have, but I don't want you to have it. It's like almost like a I don't
Either I
know.
want what you have, and if not that, I don't want you to have it either.
Yeah. Yeah, super, super dark. And I realized if those feelings ever bubble to the top, it's disconnecting me from who I really am. It's disconnect. It has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with they're on their own path, living their own dream. I'm in my own lane, doing my thing. And I have to just, it's just like a quick like switch back to like,
Mhm.
oh, that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, or just reverence. Give me the grace of reverence. All life is on its own journey. Exactly. It's very subtle, though. That's all of these passions, shadows have a very um, subtle thread to them. That is, it's like the difference in the meaning of a word, right? Like we think we know what it means, and then when we dig into it, it like expands under the surface.
Kind of like repentance.
Yeah,
That had a whole different meaning to me when I knew what it really meant.
yeah. Turn,
Yes.
turn around, change your thoughts.
But when you bring up these subtle things, like it, I mean, I think of envy and jealousy as these great big huge things, but the subtlety of it is just, it's a really good reminder when those emotions do come to us, what's going on with us, right? Like, so it's
Yeah.
making us look inside. And that's, I think, why I'm finding this most helpful, is because I'm looking at myself thinking, this isn't the way I want to be. This isn't the way I should be. This isn't the way I was made to be. What is it about this situation or whatever it is causing this?
Mm-hmm.
And so that it's really helping me to look inside and see where it's all coming from.
Yeah, that is an excellent example about the process. To recognize you don't feel
Mhm.
good, and then be, where is it coming from? Why am I even having the thought? Because the the thought is there because there's a belief system there that's causing it, right?
Right.
It's something, some way that we are thinking about ourselves that's being triggered by that, where those feelings are coming up because of that. And then saying, why is that there? What in me is responding to that? I need to solve that, because when I solve the thing in me that's responding in that way, then I've pulled the weed out by the root
Right.
instead
And
of cutting it off at the soil, or spiritual roundup.
Oh,
it doesn't happen all the time at the moment that I'm feeling um the emotion. And
Mhm.
it's like, I wish I could just switch it off and then, oh, I got to look into me. I got to do something about me. It's a lot of times it's like, I'm in the middle of something and you can't just stop
No,
and analyze. So I have to go back, like, and I
but you
have to,
remember, and then you say,
oh yeah,
I need grace to know what
yeah,
in me is responding to. That's what grace is for. I need the grace of understanding. I need the grace of counsel. I need the knowledge to understand me. What in me is
mhm,
rising up to this innocent situation? And then it's like, where did that come from? Where's that programming? And then we can change so that there's people out there not responding that way, right? So each of us is an individual with a whole life where we've gathered up ways of thinking about ourselves that are really rooted in a deeper thought about ourselves, that we can, that's what the knowledge comes to us and helps us see, so that we can change and move more into grace and really be joyful and excited about our life and our life expression that's unfolding as we go, right? It's unfolding as we go. And our work that we do on ourselves, uh, it's not something that we go do. It's something that unfolds in front of us as we go. Like, we don't go conquer something, but our work that we do in our evolution, it unfolds in front of us as we go. It unfolds in front of us, making it an exciting life journey. We get out of the mud pit after a while, and we're unfolding on some more solid ground. But when we initially learn something, it's like, oh, slipped in the mud. It's like, oh my gosh, these things are within me that I didn't realize. But then we get in there and we be like, I can't think about this right now, but I'm bring it to my mind when I'm in my meditation, and I'll address it then. Like, that's the active role with spirit and the active role with our um, high self. So that, and I promise you, when you go into your meditation, boom, it's going to come right back. And then you'd be like, great, I wanted to walk through this and understand it. So that's the active back and forth conversation that we're having with Grace in our life process. Have to hop. Love you, Bunny Rabbit. Does anybody else want to share anything? Silence. Okay. So, so we have one more of these. Next week we have the 7th one, and then the following week we're going to do a review. I think it warrants that. And then I think we'll move into another series. So anyway, we will go into a short meditation if you'd like. I'm gonna say that's a yes.